Okay, so our topic is celebrities and politics. So basically, it's going to be their influence over politics. This presentation was put together by me, Kale, Lauren, and Lexi. All right, so this first topic we're going to talk about is Trump's rise to fame. Donald Trump was well known before his presidency. He starred in a TV show called The Apprentice. The Apprentice was an American reality TV show that ran for 15 seasons on NBC from 2004 to 2017. It featured contestants competing for a job as an apprentice to billionaire Donald Trump. So the show was a huge hit, attracting millions of viewers and earning Trump a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This also boosted his public image as a successful, divisive leader, which he later used to launch his political career. The show made Donald Trump a household name and a controversial figure, as well as a master of self-promotion and branding. Not only does Trump know how to brand himself and also boost his public image, but he's pretty good at mobilizing like a younger generation. Trump has also maintained his public image by collaborating with celebrities. Trump went on the podcast Full Send that was made by the Nelk Boys. The hosts of the podcast, the Nelk Boys, are known for their party and prankster lifestyle. The episode featuring Trump received 8.7 million views. Appearing on his podcast helped his public career. So different people have different views on how well Trump's fame and TV skills helped him during his presidency. He has a uniquely direct way of connecting to his supporters. However, some people say that his focus on being celebrity sometimes took attention away from important policy talks. And he actually, in the end, made politics more divided. All right, so next we're going to talk about politics and sports. So Colin Kaepernick, as many of you know, professional athletes of the NFL and NBA are some of the most well-known and publicized people in the United States, but across the world. This gives them a platform to express their thoughts and feelings on any topics or subjects, because they know no matter what, it may be good or bad, but people are going to listen to them and most likely hear them out or criticize them, which in some instances works out better than them or better for them to gain publicity. So, in Colin Kaepernick's instance, on September 1st, 2016, he knelt for the national anthem, causing an uproar across the entire country, both for and against his actions. So ultimately, Colin protested in a very peaceful manner that he would get a ton of publicity. He wanted to make a statement that he could not stand to show pride in a flag of a country that oppressed black people. His goal was to bring systemic racial and ethnic inequalities closer to the forefront of American minds, in a hope that such evils would be eradicated.
Now, in an interview with Yahoo Finance, Saints quarterback Drew Brees was asked to look back on Kaepernick's protests and the idea of players kneeling again when next season starts. And here's Brees' response, quote, "I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country. And is everything right with our country right now? No, it's not. We still have a long way to go, but I think what you do by standing there and showing respect to the flag with your hand over your heart, it shows unity. It shows that we are all in this together. We can all do better and that we are all part of the solution." As for the reaction from those comments, Brees Saints teammates took to Twitter after the interview and released seemingly to voice their displeasure with Brees' comments. You see Michael Thomas with the sick face emoji, never tagging Brees though, while new Saints wideout Emmanuel Sanders responded with SMH, shaking my head, ignorant. LeBron James also weighing in on Instagram and Twitter. "Is it still surprising at this point? Sure isn't. You literally still don't understand why Cap was kneeling on one knee. Has absolutely nothing to do with the disrespect of the flag of the United States and our soldiers, men and women, who keep our land free. My father-in-law was one of those men who fought as well for this country. I asked him about it and thanked him all the time for his commitment. He never found Cap peaceful protests offensive because he and I both know what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. God bless you." Back here with Booger McFarland. But what's your reaction here to Drew Brees' comment, as well as the fallout with other athletes reacting?
Well, Kev, I think this is the epitome of kind of what's going on in the country right now. And let's just kind of break this down piece by piece. You know, Drew Brees, by and large, has been the salt of the earth down in New Orleans. He's done so many great things for that city. And his wife and him just recently came out and donated $5 million with Feeding America and COVID-19 and so on and so forth. But it's a classic example that no matter how many good things you do, no matter how much money you give, it doesn't change what's inside you. It doesn't change what's in your heart. And if you understand what Colin Kaepernick was kneeling for, if you understand the message that he was trying to get across, and Drew Brees is making this selfish, talking about his grandparents. Well, Drew, I'll tell you this. Nate Boyer, a Green Beret, told Colin Kaepernick, who was originally sitting down, he said, "You sitting down is disrespectful to the flag. I would appreciate it if you kneel." So that's when Colin Kaepernick got up off the bench from sitting down and he knelt down because he did not want to be disrespectful. And Drew Brees, here's what I would say to you, talking directly to you as a black man, especially in today's climate. Colin Kaepernick knelt so that the events that happened in Minneapolis would not happen again. If we would have heard the message 4 years ago, maybe George Floyd would still be alive, because he was kneeling because he did not want police brutality to minorities, to black and brown people. But Drew Brees is off message. He's looking at the flag when the message was not about the flag. People are telling you the message is not about the flag. And that's the epitome of what's going on in America today. Kevin, you're wondering why so many people are rioting, so many people are looting. They're trying to be heard. Don't listen to the message you want to hear. Listen to the message that they're telling you. Colin Kaepernick told you, I am here. I am kneeling for police brutality. Drew Brees didn't hear him 4 years ago, and he damn sure doesn't hear him now. And that's why you're getting the reaction around the NFL. And so Drew Brees fits into a category around this country right now that far too many people fit in. They hear what they want to hear, and they think, just because I donate millions of dollars, just because I do a ton of great things, and I appreciate Drew Brees because I'm from Louisiana and I know what he's done down there, and I appreciate what he has done, but it doesn't change what this fight is about that's going on in America right now. Police brutality and unarmed people, okay, more the overarching point, unarmed people, but specifically unarmed black men getting killed. Colin Kaepernick saw it coming 4 years ago. He tried to tell us. Some of us listened, and Drew Brees didn't. And that's clear based on what he said today. That's not me thinking. Those are his words based on what he said today.
4 years later, Kaepernick's message has not changed. Booger McFarland here with us on SportsCenter.
Thanks for watching ESPN.
Ultimately, before 2018 NFL season, team owners voted to impose the fines on teams whose players knelt during the national anthem, saying that they may stand in the locker room until the anthem is over, but will be fined if they do not do so. So the last area we're going to cover is just like voting messages from celebrities. LeBron James is who we're going to talk about first. Honestly, I felt like people belong more here than with actually like with the sports celebrities in general. But LeBron James is a celebrity who very notably and publicly made a message over social media through a suggestive Instagram story. He's not a Trump fan, and he will always take a chance to take a stab at him. But Trump actually does the same with the rest of the NBA. So during the last presidential debate of 2020 between Biden and Trump, he posted a picture of a clown emoji over Trump's face with a message saying, "Please vote." One thing that's actually cool about LeBron James is he's used social media to spread voting messages, but is also doing work to fight voter suppression. He worked on mobilizing voters through his group called More Than Just a Vote. James tested his influence during the 2020 election, and it's actually believed to be effective, like had been effective in the 2020 election. Although James is not publicly endorsed Biden, Ethan Scheidner, a professor of political science at the University uh, Davis, said James, more than just a vote, could make a difference in races throughout the country and not in just battleground sites such as his state home of Ohio. This was just important because James did more than just telling followers to go vote. His actions spoke louder than his words. And Lastly, we can't talk about like celebrity influence over politics without talking about Taylor Swift. So Swift has had a big impact on voters by simply getting younger like people to vote. She made an Instagram post on Tuesday, September 19th, 2023, in observance of National Voters Registration Day, and there was a massive increase in registration even the day after this post, meaning there was a direct correlation between this post and influencing people to register to vote. There was a 22% increase from 2022 and a 115% increase in registration by 18-year-olds compared to last year. She also said that 50,000 followers verified their registration staff.
Taylor Swift seems to have an effect on nearly everything, and now she's making an impact on young voters. More than 35,000 new voters have been registered after Swift encouraged her followers to sign up on National Voter Registration Day, September 19th. Vote.org says that 23% increase from last year's efforts. The nonprofit CEO also says the site was averaging 13,000 visitors every 30 minutes, a nod to the singer's lucky number 13, apparently. And joining us now is Eugene Scott. He is a senior politics reporter at Axios. Okay, Eugene, have we ever seen this kind of effect on a singer on their followers before?
No, not really. I mean, the use of Instagram to push people to be involved in the electoral process is still relatively new, and that's why this has been so newsworthy.
And how did she get involved with these issues in young voters? Where was the genesis of that?
I think, quite frankly, it happened during the 2018 midterms, where many people were looking at where the country was going after the 2016 election. She released a documentary where she talked often about how she felt led to take a stand regarding many of the issues that people were talking about: race issues, women's issues, LGBT issues. And she's gotten really involved quite a few times since then, and this is just the next step of that.
So what is it about this demographic that's so important, the one that is clearly responsive, sort of 18 to 25?
Well, I mean, millennials are currently the largest voting bloc, and Gen Z is expected to be in a few years, should I say. And her impact with these voters is still pretty high, despite, her no longer being an 18-year-old. The number of 18-year-olds who registered following her Instagram post is more than doubled from the previous year. And so many of the concerns that these voters are focused on related to gun violence and climate change, she has come out and expressed her concerns about as well.
And before we sat down and taped, you were saying to me that having a singer or a celebrity get involved in the midterms is pretty unusual.
Yes.
Just take that a step further.
Yes, I mean, it's newsworthy whenever someone of her caliber gets involved in the electoral process at all. But a midterm election, 2018, something most regular people don't pay a lot of attention to, really encourages people to say, if you care about issues in this country, you should be engaged more than just every 4 years. There's some of those local offices you need to pay attention to. And she did. She endorsed multiple Tennessee Democrats in 2018, reminding people that this is a place where she is really invested and cares about.
So is she working both sides of the aisle here when it comes to registering voters? I've heard you talk a lot about Democrats. Is she also focused on potential Republican voters?
It doesn't seem like it. I mean, she's actually gotten into some tiffs with some conservatives on social media, but the registration post she put forward on Instagram didn't tell anybody how to register or who to vote for, but just to make sure their voices were heard.
So what kind of impact does she have, if any, on 2024?
Well, I think what we're going to see, perhaps, is her continue to talk about these issues and push people towards, perhaps, candidates that she thinks align with not only her values, but the values of her fans as well.
All right, Eugene Scott, thank you for your analysis.
Thanks for having me.